Women often postpone their lives, thinking that if they're not with a partner then it doesn't really count. They're still searching for their prince, in a way. And as much as we don't discuss that, because it's too embarrassing and too sad, I think it really does exist. I've got bits falling off me. I'm not made of rubber. That's from film Stunts. Every single injury I have is related to a movie. I know that sounds fundamentally embarrassing. I love dressing up and doing the red carpet every once in a while, but I am very much a jeans kinda girl, so it's all a little embarrassing for me. When I was playing before I retired, I never really understood the appreciation and the respect that people gave me. People had treated me like a god or something, and that was very embarrassing. I don't really get embarrassed a lot because I feel like life goes on. I mean, I fell on stage one time, I tripped one time. My voice cracked. That's pretty embarrassing. Nothing is so embarrassing as watching someone do something that you said couldn't be done. I always get carried away when I'm kissing. I just go nuts. Walking away after it is the strangest moment for me. It's embarrassing, not knowing what to say to each other. My mom was a professional fitness competitor, so I go into the gym with her. I train with my dad and mother. It's embarrassing, because she's really strong. I am so disappointed in Apple. I don't even use an iPhone anymore. Their marketing sucks. It's embarrassing. It's just garbage. I always entertain the notion that I'm wrong, or that I'll have to revise my opinion. Most of the time that feels good, sometimes it really hurts and is embarrassing. I did a shoot for Sports Illustrated, and my grandpa called me and asked if my issue of Playboy was coming out. It was hilarious as well as embarrassing. You've got to make a decision when you write about your life, and I decided I was going to be honest, and some of those things will be embarrassing. I don't agree with beauty contests. I did it one time. It wasn't embarrassing being Wonder Woman, it was embarrassing walking around on stage in a bikini. It was ridiculous, stupid, and humiliating. I like to do things that are publicly embarrassing, to feel the embarrassment touch me and sink into me and then be gone. I like getting on elevators and singing too loudly in that small space. The feeling you feel is almost like a vapor. The discomfort and the wishing that it would end that comes around you. I still get a little nervous when talking to girls, which is awful and embarrassing, because I feel like I shouldn't. Just sharing things that are either embarrassing or possibly relatable, searching for that laugh so that someone makes me feel less alone. Like, oh, they laughed, so they get what I'm saying. I've got ambitions. I've always been very ambitious. But I think there's something nice about not saying all of my dreams, in case they don't happen and then it's just really embarrassing. I can't give birth to my own child, we know that. But it's still embarrassing to me, and that's just how I feel. It's a sensitive subject. I guess there are all these women with a big secret. They're hiding men they are ashamed of. They come up to me and say, I've been dating this guy for 6 months in secret but none of my friends know. I can't give him up even though he's embarrassing. I did a commercial when I was, 5 or 6 years old for, what was it called? Cabbage Patch Kids. That was the first thing I ever did. Little bit embarrassing. I believe there are more films that involve love and forgiveness than violence, but they often seem fake and are almost embarrassing to watch. Bob summed it up best when he was on his knees at the end of the night saying, "Don't trust in guided by voices." You were there. Was the show awful or something? I know it was sloppy, but they're not really that tight anyway. But was it embarrassing? Was it sad? Everybody asks me if I sing on this record. Even my mother asks me. I am a very proud person and this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing, isn't it? It took me 15 years to make an 18-minute movie. Ooh. It's too embarrassing to share my innermost romantic secrets, although I have written Danielle the odd poem. If anything they are more comedic than romantic. They used to be well received but that was before she started studying Shakespeare at drama college. Now I feel so inept. I'm not into being all film-y and going to the premieres and parties. I tend to feel like the embarrassing uncle at a wedding. Colby Covington has a very low IQ. He says a lot of stupid things, and it's almost embarrassing that he represents our country that way. To an adolescent, there is nothing in the world more embarrassing than a parent. Being bipolar is like not knowing how to swim. It might be embarrassing to tell people, and it might be hard to take you certain places, but they have arm floaties. And if you just take your arm floaties, you can go wherever the hell you want. One of the embarrassing problems for the early 19th century champions of the Christian faith was that not one of the first 6 presidents of the United States was an Orthodox Christian. But I learned that there's a certain character that can be built from embarrassing yourself endlessly. If you can sit happy with embarrassment, there's not much else that can really get to you. Start in a small TV station so you can make all of your embarrassing mistakes early and in front of fewer people. I hear radio plays that I did 20 years ago and I can't bear it. I see things on telly that I made 6 months ago and I just hate them. I could name on one hand the things that I think are okay, the rest of it is just rubbish and embarrassing. You can get through very serious and sometimes horrible and sometimes embarrassing and very awkward situations with humor. It gives us a way out. I'm never not planning for my future house. Most of the files on my laptop are devoted to different rooms in my dream house. I'm embarrassing. In 2005, the Iraq War was entering its 3rd year and no one believed that we were going to find WMDs anymore. The pre-war claims of their certain existence were becoming an embarrassing joke, a big present we'd been offered that was getting ever later in showing up. No family is complete without an embarrassing uncle. When I give lectures, people will wait behind until there is no one around and then tell me quietly, I seem to be one of those people who need 8 or 9 hours sleep. It's embarrassing to say it in public. I'm the clumsiest person in the world, so every day brings an embarrassing moment. I don't like to think about being an influence. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing sometimes, the way actors or musicians sometimes get made untouchable. It's a business you go into because you're an egocentric. It's a very embarrassing profession. Sometimes I try a Mai Tai. It's so fruity. It's a little embarrassing, but I like it. I remember being away somewhere, and I had forgotten it was Valentine's Day with a person, and that was very embarrassing. Being a teen idol or being a heartthrob on all the magazines, with Sean Cassidy, Leif Garrett, and Scott Baio, it was embarrassing. I never understood it. I mean, why me? I never really got it. I was almost as famous at Indiana for my television shows as I was my coaching. That's kind of embarrassing when you think about it. It's embarrassing to me to blow my own horn all the time. When I finished my degree at Oxford, I went and acted for a bit, and I was appalling. And with each part, I thought, well, that's embarrassing. I'd better do one more to show people I'm not that bad. And, in fact, instead of it taking a year, that's gone on for 35 years. It gets embarrassing to say something untrue because you put it online and everyone knows about it, so it's better to tell the truth. Oh, I'd say I like a meal as much as anybody, but I find a certain kind of footiness silly, gluttonous, and embarrassing. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.